Hi friends, I hope you're all doing very well. Today I've popped on to talk about the fabric that I've got and the projects that I haven't started and some new patterns, and just go through some fabrics as well with you, in the hope that you can leave a comment in the comment box and give me an idea of what you'd like me to make next. I think I do a lot of time wasting and a bit of procrastination, and don't always get as much done as I could do because I'm sort of looking at different patterns and looking at fabric and not really making my mind up. So I thought I'll give my lovely YouTube subscribers the chance to pick what I make next, and then I'll video it as I always do. If you're new here, I'm Victoria and I love to make all sorts of things for the home. So I'm all about homemaking, sewing and crafting and baking, foraging and going out and just having a nice slow paced lifestyle. Not all the time, but just taking that little bit of nugget out to help you with your own well-being. And I think that's very important. So I hope you will join me on this slow paced well-being homemaking journey that I have, and thank you for even being here. If you like the videos, please like them, and hopefully you'll subscribe. Hit that notification button as well, because that tells you when a video is new and popped up, so you don't miss it. So thanks for joining me today. So let's have a little look at all this fabric we've got and choose a project for me please, and have a look at some new patterns. And I'm going to show you some fabric as well, and you might say I'd do this fabric with this pattern, because I'm not very proficient in the knowledge of different fabrics. So when I get a pattern, it might say a type of fabric that I'm not that familiar with. So I appreciate all your comments and your advice, etc. So I've got a bit of an update as well, so let's bring you down a bit. So first things first, the patterns. And I've got some nice new patterns that I haven't shown you, that I've just recently got, which I was really excited about. I think I've shown you these were my last ones, and I'm going to probably show you them all, and then you can choose, can't you? This Butterick 4277, which is a really nice one, and then the Burley 7662, again another dress. Then we've got, this is a bit too, don't choose that today, I shouldn't show you that, but that's when I get a bit better, and it's like an Austrian dirndl robe traditional outfit, but don't choose that because I'm not at that stage yet. Then we've got the lovely Simplicity S9653 that I hope to make that soon. I've done the Ellis dress, haven't I? And I've done the McCall's M8085 many times. We've got the Cecilia dress, which is nice. I've got a thread count summer dress pattern, a nightie. Then we're going on to the Dotty Angel patterns. The Simplicity Artisan dress that I did in a few videos back, and I loved it. Really nice pattern. Another like apron tabard kind of Simplicity 8230 dress. A vintage skirt pattern, which I'd like to do. A pinafore with buttons on that I'd like to do, but that might be a bit hard at the minute. A Breton top, which I'd love to do, but I haven't got any jersey. Another sort of pinafore kind of tabard one. The Simplicity S8878A, and a couple of making things like aprons, bags, sewing accessory kits. Now these are ideal when you're using your scrap fabrics up. So we need to keep that in mind. We've got lots and lots of scrap fabric, haven't we? So that's all the ones that I've had and probably shown you in a previous couple of videos anyhow. So let's get those back in here. And this is just a little thing I've upcycled recently. Put the patterns in, which have proven rather useful. And these are my latest ones, which are the Sussex Seamstress Hamsey skirt, and it's got a button down, and it's a wrap, like a wrap with a button down and some frills, a drop waistband, and then frilled skirt. That looks nice. And then there's this Portsmouth, which is like a tabardy kind of pinafore with buttons and pockets. Sure, I'd have to extend it because you know I'm very tall. And then I got this the other week, didn't I? And I want to make this Bella dress by Liberty. But I've now just been fortunate to get this Liberty Alexa frill dress. I'd have to extend that down as well. That's average and that's intermediate, so that's not going to be for now. I've got to be careful because, you know, I'm not fabulous at sewing. I'm only sort of just learning again. And this one now, so they're the patterns in mind, so you can pause it and have a little look and think about those patterns. That's what my choice is, if you like. I've still got this that I've not done, this Birdie Easy dress, which looks lovely, and some fabric. I think it was a place called Pound Fabric online. I usually like to buy them from the shop. And then I've got this beautiful one which I bought primarily, this one, to make that dress, the prairie dress, and I thought that would look really nice in a stripe, you know, so I think that should go with that because I've got enough material of that. And then we've got all sorts of fabrics in the baskets, but I've got a lot of bits and bobs, like scraps. So what I've been doing is just sewing them all together, all the scrap pieces, let me show you, in like a line, using bits of embroidery and all sorts of different pieces. It's really, really, oh, they're all floral, all florals, so that when they're all in long pieces, I can then make something out of them. So I thought, well, why not do it like this? So obviously it's a work in progress, but I thought it would make some kind of patchwork, whether it's going to be a patchwork curtain at a window, or a patchwork dress or something. So I've been just putting them all together in different ways because I just want to use up all these scraps that I've got, and if they're long pieces, I just thought I'll just put them all together, another panel to another panel, and then it becomes bigger. Just join them up, you know, different panels until they all start to go together. So that's all that, and I'm adding to that because I've got lots of fabric, and if it's quite a decent size, I'm putting it here, and then we'll work out one day what to make with those. When you've made something and you're left with a nice piece, you can then use it. If it's not big enough for a top, then it goes in this. And all these pieces that I thought, right, I'm going to keep adding to this, you know, and joining them up, and hopefully it could be pretty at the end of the day. It's like everything, when it's all crumpled, it looks more of a mess, isn't it? So we want to get the iron out on it, and then hopefully it'll be alright. I was going to try and sell, you know, like fabric squares, and put different fabrics together and sell them like that. I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, because if we all have different scraps, don't we? And what might not be needed by somebody could well be needed for a project for somebody else. So that's my scrap box, and that's what I'm doing with those. So last year I made some delightful Christmas stockings out of this fabric, which is like a toile, and I made a big stocking out of it with a top, and then I made massive big Christmas sacks out of it as well, with velvet, a velvet cuff if you like, which was beautiful. Obviously not a traditional colour for Christmas, but they look lovely, and we put all our Christmas presents in them now, which are really good. And this is one of those scraps, and what I've done is put it on a piece of velvet I had, put a zip in it, found quite cheap at the charity shop, so I thought, oh, that'll be right. And I've made a cushion cover, it's 2 ways, so that's a nice piece. A couple of scraps used. And this in here, I've got all sorts in this one. These are all like spots, but there's not enough here to make something large with. You know, these are just scraps. Cushion covers, nice sort of pieces of tapestry, embroidery. So we've got all those in a box as well. But those, as I say, are not big enough to make a dress or anything, you know. That's a piece of that material from this lovely dress I made a couple of videos back. This one came out super duper as well, how we matched the fabric and everything. I was really pleased with that. Okay, so let's get another box out and have a little look. That's a quick project I always do. You know, if you've got a stained tablecloth, cut them out, get an embroidery hoop and fit it in and then hang it up on the wall. Just a simple piece of wall art. Here's the huge amount of fabric we have left. So these primarily are vintage pieces of fabric. So they're thick cotton. Not always ideal for clothes because the print's very, very large. There's about 1 metre of these. I've got so many cushion covers that I don't need another cushion cover. And there's tablecloths as well. Crepe sheen, nice thick linens. So really these are not, I mean that's beautiful, but they're not ideal for clothing, are they? I've bought them when I've seen them because I just love fabric roses. This is lovely. I think this is beautiful fabric. It's got a real thick, I can't remember what it's called now. 60s or 70s, might have been 50s. It's absolutely beautiful. Let's see how thick that is. It might be a bit too thick for, this would be ideal in a jacket with it being thicker. Okay, I haven't got a pattern for a jacket, so that might be worth me trying out a couple of jackets. I don't think I've got enough here, but again, they're a bit big, the prints. So I'm not quite sure what to make with them, to be honest. But they're just my favourite piece of cloth. And I think the problem with that is, when you've got a favourite piece of cloth, you don't chop into it, do you? You don't want to ruin it. But then you've got lots of favourite pieces of cloth. And this is my last one, which is beautiful. It's really curtain fabric, really. This is lilac. Mind you, that is quite thin. I could see that in a summer dress. Don't know if it'd be too much, the print. Overall, don't know. What do you think? I need to use some things up. I could try it because it's not doing anything. There's a lot there. Let's measure that out. What do you think? It's not everybody's cup of tea, obviously, I know, but could I get away with that? Because it's not as huge a print, is it, as like this, you know? You see the big difference? It's quite more subtle. So that's that out of that. So these are really furnishing fabrics, aren't they? You got any more suggestions? This is beautiful. But again, it's very big print. It's a nice thickish cotton. I cut it out making some cushion covers and I've still got quite a lot of it left. I need to think about what to make with these. So maybe I ought to think about other things other than clothing that I could make. I've done things like Roman blinds and curtains, bedding, that sort of thing. I've done tote bags. Some of these could be alright for some tote bags. The problem I have is I haven't got the confidence in my own sewing to think about selling it. And my friend said, why don't you, if you're making stuff and you don't want any more, just make it and sell it because it would be lovely. But I haven't got a serger, so I always worry about, you know, just a raw edge zigzag. It doesn't look as professional as this is a bought product. So that's my worry. So, even though I've got lots and lots of fabric, this is sweet. 45 inches by 50, not much of it. But look at this beautiful fabric. If you like roses, you'll appreciate this. Look at that. Rosebuds and pink roses. I mean, so pretty. Beautiful, absolutely. So, I need some help, don't I? Because I've come to a stage where, at the minute, this feels a bit daunting, this. Shall I just bite the bullet and do it? But obviously, it'd be good to do a 12, wouldn't it? Because if I use this and it doesn't work out, it'll be a lot of money wasted. And then there's this one, which would be ideal for winter and autumn. What else have I got? My last basket is full, really, of scraps again. Yeah, more scraps. I got this recently. I don't think I've shown you before, but it's a handle set. and I thought that'd be fantastic. And I picked this up when I was on holiday, and it was a remnant, and I thought, oh, I love it, you know, it's obviously a lovely piece of floral thick canvas. I thought that would make a fantastic bag. So I thought I might make a bag, because if I fold it in half like that, that could be quite a wide bag. And if I put a handle on like that and get some kind of thick structure, you know, thick bonding interfacing or something inside it to strengthen it, I could see that being fantastic, that and that together as a beautiful bag. So I thought I've earmarked that to look into for a project. I must admit. Then we've got all these bits that I've been making tea towels with and various things. I make tea towels out of it. And then what I've done is I've put these together, and I had an old tea towel from Cornwall. And what I thought I would do is I'd make 3 tote bags, and I've cut the tea towel up, and it's got images of Cornwall on it. Look at this, this would be really nice. There's a pocket. Let me just pin it quickly, it's not straight yet. But if I made this into a tote bag, all this fabric, a big bag that you could throw over your shoulder, or a beach bag, or whatever you want to do with it, and then put that on as a pocket, and it's like a scene of Padstow, I think that one is, and you could have that as a patch pocket on the front. Make a decision, get the sewing machine out and get on with it. You can help me, you can say to me, we want to see you do this next. Because then if I think, you know, it's all of interest to you and you fancy me doing a certain pattern, then I'll get on with it. This again, that was that beautiful dress that I mentioned earlier on. What I really like, that was leftover fabric, so I thought that could be make a nice fabric bag. Again, another bag. And that's using the scraps from that one. It's just a case of using your scraps up, because, you know, at the end of the day, you can't just throw them in the bin. It's fabric, it's being made. You've got to be mindful, haven't we? This was that other dress that I made. Well, I made 2 dresses out of these. This, if you remember, there's two videos. There's there's like a tabard dress and that a nice flowy big dress out of both of those. So that's a bit left over. And then I've got this fabric as well, which is really pretty, and a ribbon that goes really nice. And I had started to cut a pattern out of this, which was a wraparound dress, and I tried it on, and I cut it out of this fabric. I tried it on, it didn't come together and bust, so I just knew that was a fail. So I've still got all the pieces, but I need to cut them and make something out of it now, because I've got, you know, all that extra, which will waste otherwise. And then I've got a skirt that I've cut up, and I'm going to make my friend, a Scottish friend, Christmas stockings out of it. I thought I'd make a nice Christmassy stocking. I'll make 3 Christmas stockings out of this. So you can be mindful of your fabric and see what you can make out of it. And I thought, tartan, Christmas is coming, a nice stocking. So I've got so many projects I could do. But then I think, well, I want to do something that's of interest to you all. That's the dress that I made on another video, a stripy dress, leftover. I've got some nice sort of like, a bit like a broderie anglaise scrap. Now, I haven't made anything out of this. This was a scrap I bought as a scrap piece, but I just thought it was so lovely. I'm going to make something with it. And this as well, even if it's a pair of pants or something. And then I've got a bit of that. What have I got in here? This one that is lovely. There's enough for, I think I thought 2 cushions at the time, but then I never made them. That's beautiful and yellow. Right, so that's it, guys. That's all my fabric. I need help, don't I? In more ways than one. So, please have a think. If there's anything out of this that you want me to do, leave me some comments. If you've had any of these patterns and you've made anything like this, you can give me any suggestions for the Hamsey Sussex seamstress, or the Portsmouth, or the Bella tea dress, or the Alex frill dress, if you can give me any sort of tips and advice, I'd really appreciate it. And let me know what you're making. Let me know if you have sort of like moments where you just think, oh, there's so much, I don't know what to start next. And let me sort of have an idea of what you think I ought to make, and that I'd really appreciate that. And so hopefully the next video I have, it'll be something that I can show you what I have done. I've made lots of makes, haven't I, over the last couple of months. Made lots and lots of dresses. I do like dresses the most, really. Some of them I don't feel confident enough to wear with them being really, really floaty and very big, I told you before. So I'm looking at dresses that are a bit more fitted and seeing, you know, if I can make those. Some of them look a bit complicated, and these advanced patterns I don't want to try yet because obviously it might be a bit too hard for me. But you've got to bite the bullet as well and keep progressing, haven't you? So I'm watching lots of YouTube videos on various structural alterations and proper sewing techniques, so that hopefully I'll have the confidence to try a more sort of intermediate pattern. And also, if you've got any top tips of where you can buy fabric quite cheap, I've mentioned before, I've found quite a lot in the charity shops in the past, but of late, as I've been looking, I haven't been around many at all, I must admit, but one or two when I've been, there hasn't been anything at all, and it's a bit difficult for me to find it anyway because I don't live near major towns. So if there's any place where you know that you can get cheap fabric, please let me know. And thank you for joining me, and have a lovely, lovely week, and I hope to see you soon. And I'd love to hear what you're up to and wherever you are. So if you can leave me a comment and tell me what sewing projects you've got on the go, where you are living, if you find it hard sometimes to get started, what do you do with your fabric scraps too, and how to organise them. I've put all mine in like nice baskets on top of the dresser so that they are neatly put away. I haven't got a craft room, so I've got to be mindful of clutter in this room, of course. So that's the way I'm doing it now. But as your fabric expands, if you don't make things with it and contain it, then it becomes a problem, or it would do for me with me not having an extra space. So I think in a way what I might do is get on with that patchwork system again today, and start sewing more up onto that, because that'll be a fun sort of curtain to throw against a sunshine window for the future, won't it? Alright, so thanks for watching. I hope to see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.